Welcome to the Every Brain is Different podcast. We are here with Amanda Trisdel and her daughter, Leta Rundell. And Amanda is the CEO of the nonprofit dance studio Lita founded called Autistic Wings Dance Company. And Amanda is also the co-host of her daughter's podcast, Lita Tap Styles, where they discuss their nonprofit, Lita's budding dance career, and they throw in a little humor just for fun. And I have been on their podcast. It's an awesome podcast, so everyone should go listen. Welcome to the show, Amanda and Lita.
Thanks for having us. She's trying to get her pity on the couch right now. That's all the commotion you're seeing on her camera.
Oh, okay. No worries. So can you tell us a little bit more about yourselves, about how you're involved in the neurodivergent community?
So she's driving me. The ADHD does not do well when she's in the corner of my eye going crazy. So both Lita and I are autistic. She has suspected ADHD on top of it. I have diagnosed ADHD. She has been in dance for a long time. She works with some of the best choreographers in LA and New York. She's on Chloe Arnold's International Tap Youth Company Soul Talk. Chloe is an Emmy-nominated choreographer. The problem we had was traditional dance studios just weren't cutting it for her. She was feeling bullied by the adults who just do not understand the neurodiverse world.
Yeah, for sure. I can understand that. Like when my son was in baseball on a neurotypical team, his coach did not understand that he had PDA and would just shut down when he was yelled at. And so his coach would be like, you need to go do this. And my son wouldn't immediately do it. And then the coach would just start yelling at him, which would make him shut down, and bad things ensued.
We would have things like typical autistic people. Lita does not like looking people in the eye, and her teachers would come out and go, she wasn't listening to me. She wasn't looking me in the eye. And I'm like, the eyes are not necessarily connected to the ears. You and I had that discussion months ago about if we're looking you in the eye, we're not necessarily listening to you.
Yeah, in fact, I've heard a lot of neurodivergent people say if I'm looking in your eye, that means I'm not listening to you. I'm just trying to appear like I'm listening to you. And so that's an important thing for everyone to know, that just because you make eye contact does not mean you're listening.
Oh no. And she also, teachers would come out and go, I was trying to correct her stim because her most common stim is a complicated 3-point tap move. And they want to correct it so it's perfect. And I'm like, I don't think you understand what a subconscious stimming is.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of times when people are stimming, it's so that they can self-regulate, and people are like, oh, don't do that stim. And I'm like, no, do that so you don't have a meltdown.
But she was getting to the point with all of this because it was not like the crazy accommodations that we were asking for. She got to the point going to the dance studio was causing panic attacks.
Oh, no.
And she would go in already in a panic attack. She would come out crying. And it was like, we can't keep doing this. There's got to be a better way. And so we looked at the autistic programs in town. The dance teachers who are doing them have a great heart, but they know nothing about autism. And if you're going to do a program for autistic kids, you got to know autism backwards, forwards, and 6 ways to Sunday. And like those programs have 20 plus students in a class.
Oh, wow.
I cannot imagine having 20 plus 3-year-olds in a class of neurotypical. Now add neurodivergent on there and I'm running for the hills. So we worked with a bunch of therapists we knew. We worked with neurologists we knew. We worked with developmental pediatricians we knew. We worked with behavioral psychiatrists we knew. We brought everyone to the table and went, how do we take what they're teaching in the dance world, teach it to autistic kids without it being the adaptive dance doesn't work for her because she wants to have an actual career, and adaptive dance tends to be, oh, you're just never going to learn to dance. So this is all about having fun. And so we took all the science stuff and brought it in with all the dance stuff and created a backbone of a curriculum for our dancers. And I say backbone because we're working on a dance IEP for each one of our dancers. And so that curriculum gets shifted to what that dancer needs.
That's amazing.
we're making our level 3 ASD kids learn first, second, third, fourth, and they're learning it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So can you tell us a little bit more about the dance IEP? What do you mean by that?
So I know everyone has a love-hate relationship with the IEP. I do a lot of advocacy with IEP, so I too have a love-hate relationship with them. We took what I considered the best part of the IEPs, especially where we were asking parents to go get their therapist to give me diagnoses and tell me what their kids have. Because there's going to be a different way you approach a child who has like an autoprocessory disorder along with their ASD. There's going to be a different way you approach a child who has different types of speech disorders. And we have been working on training our teachers what all these mean. And that way we can focus on how to teach the kids the way they need to be taught. And it seemingly is working great so far this year, but it's year one. We are having a few stumbles where parents are like, yeah, they just have a speech disorder. And I'm like, you're going to have to kind of clarify what speech disorder means. That kind of runs the gamut.
Yeah, do they have trouble actually speaking, or do they have trouble with receptive skills, or can they say things but it doesn't make sense? What's going on there?
Yeah. And I'm like, I need a little bit more. But the therapy world has been, thankfully, all the therapists have come on board with it going, oh, you need actual diagnoses. Here's what the diagnosis is. And I'm like, thanks. Now I can work with this.
Yeah, yeah. And then what do you look for when you're hiring teachers for the dance studio?
Patience, lots and lots of patience. The other thing we've been looking for, and I'm going to tiptoe around some of it because I'm not sure what you or how far you want to go into some of the politics going on today. But do you agree with certain people and what they said about autism?
No, I don't.
And if the answer is no, I don't, you're hired. If your answer is yes, I actually do agree with them, you're not getting hired.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense because it's definitely a mindset that, especially when you're working with people with autism, you have to have the right mindset of they are capable, they can do things, they need the right support, but they're capable and they just help them be as independent as possible, help them be like Lita is an amazing dancer where I think some people might just honestly write her off because of the way she presents, which is ridiculous.
She actually had teachers write her off because of the way she presents. And they're like, you will, while she was working with the how you present with your autism. She presents what? She had teachers who wouldn't work with her and put her to the corners. Corners are now her safe space in dance studios where they shouldn't be because the teachers are like, well, you're never going to learn. She had one teacher come out to me and go, well, she has autism. So she's only got what, age 3 mind.
Oh no.
She was 11. It was not age
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. How did you navigate that? Like, how did you navigate talking to teachers who just wrote her off?
So for a little bit, I was trying to be nice to them and work with them. And then she can mask for about 18 months in a dance studio. And then she's done with the teachers because she starts hating the teachers the way they're treating her. And I try to go talk to them. The problem is there are a lot of parents who watch Dance Moms and thinks that's what dance parents are supposed to be like. So I got labeled as the troubled parent. Anytime I'd go, you need to accommodate her. So we would go to another studio. I would spend an hour, 2 hours on the phone going, this is what she needs. These are the accommodations she needs. Because she's also got severe dyslexia. And it never fails, whatever studio we put her into has reading involved in dance classes.
Oh, interesting. I wouldn't have thought about that.
Yeah. And on top of it, one thing anyone doesn't, dyslexia is an vision processing issue. All these dance teachers are like, oh, it just means the words are floating on the page. And I'm like, hi, have you ever tried to pirouette because they're all like, pick a spot on the wall and pirouette that way. And I'm like, she's getting dizzy the way you're trying to teach her. And they're like, well, she just needs to quit being so lazy.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, So it would be a lot of fighting for about 2 seasons. And then we go try another studio that assured me that they would do it. We were moving across the country. So it wasn't just in one area of the country, it was in multiple areas since her dad's military. And finally, the whole reason Autistic Wings started is she was upset at the exact same time I was upset. And we're like, okay, let's just start our own studio.
Yeah. That's usually what happens when awesome things come about is that people just get frustrated. They're like, I've had enough, I'm doing it my own way.
Yeah. And it is, I'm currently upset with one of our local therapy groups because they are out of the children's hospital. They won't give me a grant until I have so many donors, but they keep sending me students. And I'm like, I have outgrown my current space, guys. You can
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm sure that if someone has a neurodivergent kid, they'll come to you before they go to a typical dance studio just because you understand what's going on.
Yeah, it took us a few months to convince the local therapy groups that we knew what was going on, especially this sounds weird. But in 2023, someone dropped a paper comparing autism to Parkinson's disease. And I think most of us in the US just ignored it because it came out of China. A lot of the dance guys somehow got a hold of this and clamped onto it. So they're treating the autistic kids like Parkinson's patients. The local therapy groups were like, oh, well, the dance world is stupid. I kind of see where the correlation came there, right? And so they had blacklisted all the studios in town. Like when parents would come going, is there anywhere my autistic kid can get dance? All the therapy groups in town were like, there's nowhere.
Oh, weird.
And we took a few months with us going, no, we promise we're doing this, we're doing that. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah. And now they're telling all the parents, which means I have way too many kids wanting to come in.
Yeah, yeah. So you definitely need a bigger space. And like we were talking about before, that you have to have certain things in the space to make it appropriate for autistic kids because like lights, we were talking about certain lights have sounds. And if they have the fluorescent lights, if they have that sound, it's going to drive everyone crazy.
I will be the first one it drives crazy. With two of our students specifically, I am currently, because we're in a place I can't put elopement alarms, I am sitting at the front door while they're in class. The moment we move, we're getting elopement alarms. That's something most dance studios aren't thinking, oh, I need elopement alarms on my door, because they're not thinking. I had one dance teacher go, well, what are these kids doing eloping? They're too young to get married.
Oh no.
And that was, I was talking to one of our therapy groups in town who was filling us out. And I'm like, yeah, we don't have elopement alarms. We're working. Like, I am literally sitting at the door so they can't get in the parking lot. And they're like, oh, you know what elopement is?
Yeah. I
It's
don't,
a,
yeah, I never think about that, that
I
people would think about that.
cannot tell you how many times I've had to explain to staff the definition of elopement outside of like marriage in Vegas. It hurts my soul a little bit.
it is such a common. I don't know that you connected to the audio, Lita.
Are you sure they're connected to the audio? You
Yeah,
sure?
you're connected. I can hear
You're
you.
connected. Now.
Oh, yay. I'm pretty sure these kids are too young to understand what marriage are. So I'm pretty sure the level 3 kid that we have doesn't know what marriage is because A, he's a child, and B, he's a child, and C, I don't think any child thinks, oh, hey, marriage, let's do that right now. Well,
I mean, those are
Yeah.
the things you have to think about when you're working with autistic and neurodivergent kids.
Yeah, and we say that, oh, we can't believe that people don't know what elopement means, but if you're not in this world, that's why we have our guide for parenting neurodivergent kids and we have all those terms on there because when you come into the neurodivergent world, there's so many terms that you don't know about. What is occupational therapy? What does elopement even mean? What does neurodivergent mean? And so, yeah, that's why I created that guide because people like I saw in autism groups that parents would say, I have no idea what you're even talking about. And so, anyway, if people want that, they can go to our website, but that's why I created it.
like I told you earlier, I'm not the parent to talk to about that because I grew up with all those terms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just how we speak. There's been a few new things thrown in, but most of this is how my therapist spoke to me as a child.
Yeah, and if you grew up in it, it's definitely different than if you're a neurotypical parent and then all of a sudden your kid has autism. You're like, I don't know what these words mean. So, yeah, that's important to realize.
But yeah, that it did take us a while to convince the therapy groups, but being able to go, yeah, I know what the term elopement is. I know what occupational therapy is and why you use occupational therapy, which having been in the community all of my 43 years, that should just be something. And I forget sometimes the outside world doesn't know that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's why it's so overwhelming for parents when they get an autism diagnosis because people are like, "Oh, you should do this therapy. You should do this therapy. You should do this therapy." And they're like, "What is that therapy even for?" Like we were talking about earlier about speech therapy, and most people think, "Oh, if you can't talk or you don't talk very well, you go to speech therapy." But they can do so many other things like social skills, receptive skills, all that kind of stuff.
They do way more. And I've had to talk to a few parents because they're like, my child can pronounce letters. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, but I don't understand why they're in speech therapy. They don't understand grammar. We send them to the SLP. That's where the language part of that comes from.
Yeah, yeah. So, what do you say to parents who maybe they see their kid in the dance studio and they want to kind of manage their behavior because they don't think their kid is doing the appropriate behavior? What do you do in that situation?
13-year-old, remember you're on someone else's podcast. Be nice.
What? Oh, never mind. Never mind.
The
'Cause
13-year-old
I'm
has
guessing
some
I can't punch
teenager
people.
opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of
Or-
times,
Oh, we could just drag them. We could just drag them and tape their mouths shut, and then tie them to a chair. See how
Oh
they
no.
feel. Tie them to a chair and leave them in the freaking room around for hours. See how they feel.
calm down. I should explain that real quick. A lot of our school systems around here still use old-fashioned ABA.
Oh no.
And these parents are being taught old-fashioned ABA. Like if the child's not listening, sometimes in order to manage them, we do need to restrain them. They're not calling it tie them down, but restrain them. And so when they get in the studio, we have no masking, not ignore the stimming, but you can't stop someone from stimming. So I'm not going to punish your child for stimming. I thankfully am not teaching, so I can pull the parent to the side and go, look, no one is judging you here. No one is judging your child here. It is perfectly fine if they're stimming. Stimming is important for them. I know what the school systems are telling you. I've worked with the school systems. Let's not listen to the school systems. The teachers need to be the one teaching the class. Notice they're not getting upset with whatever autistic thing your child is doing because it's natural, it's normal. And one of our teachers, I'm not allowed to say how old she is because you never say a lady's age, but she does have great grandchildren.
I don't get it. That's literally the most stupid of stupid rules of stupidness ever. It's stupid. It should be burned. It is stupid.
She doesn't understand why you don't, but
It's stupid.
when the parents won't listen to me, a lot of times she has to get involved. And she's like, look, if you're coming in and you're trying to tell your child what to do when it's something that they naturally do, you're going to make it where they don't like dance. And you're going to make dance not a safe space. And we want this to be a space where they can express themselves, especially when we're talking the younger kids.
Yes, I love that. So let them do what they need to do and still participate. Because I don't think a lot of stimming, like it's not stopping kids from participating. It's helping them participate more because they can self-regulate instead of just having a meltdown.
And I think a lot of our parents, they're coming from the neurotypical community. They don't understand what stimming is.
Yeah.
No one has sat down and explained to them, this is releasing dopamine. This is releasing this is helping them regulate. And they're like, wait, no one ever told me that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's important to share those kinds of things because they might be getting other information from like the school, like you said, oh, stemming is bad. We have to stop it when really stemming has a purpose and it needs to be done. And unless they're like hurting someone, then don't worry about it.
None of our classes right now have above 2 kids in it. So it's not
Oh,
like you're really distracting anyone.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome.
Which is the other thing we did was we made sure these classes are small, which some of our classes, especially with our level 3 kids, and I love, well, and even our level 3 adults, because we have level 3 ASD adults taking classes. Because autism doesn't stop at 18, contrary to what some people believe.
Yep.
We, with level 3, rarely put more than one dancer in the class. They just usually tend to need more one-on-one support, especially at beginning dance. And for our level 2s, we're never going to have more than 2 in the class, mainly because our teachers are like, I cannot handle more than 2 children in a class.
Yeah, yeah.
And the kids Lita's age, we go up to 4 kids in our kit level 1 classes at times, but that's an oddity.
Well, that's awesome that you can provide that one-on-one support or really small group support.
That's what the nonprofit status was for.
Yeah, for sure. Because, yeah, I can understand that you'd have to be a nonprofit to be able to do that.
Yeah, but you can't really, you as a neurodiverse person, some of these dance classes in the traditional studios are getting to 25, 30, 40 kids per class. You're just getting lost at that amount of kids.
Yeah, for sure. And then if you need any accommodations, it's harder to provide those accommodations.
I think a lot of the studios don't. I've had a couple discussions with a few of them who are like, well, we don't have to provide ADA accommodations. And I'm like, see, but the moment you said you could is the moment you do.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast today. We just have a few more questions before we wrap up. Where can people find you online?
They can find the studio online at www.autisticwingsdancecompany.org. And it's Autistic Wings Dance Company on Facebook and Instagram, and just Autistic Wings on TikTok. The podcast is Lita's Tap Styles. You get to hear a 13-year-old be 13. She is definitely becoming more and more a teenager the further we're getting into podcasting.
I love hearing her thoughts though. When I've been on your podcast, I love hearing what she's thinking about and just everything that she says.
Sometimes we do get a little emotional because on Tuesdays we do a lot of dance stuff, and like we've just did one on her imposter syndrome and what teachers said. And so
Oh,
you get to hear
I don't have
teenager.
imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. Stop saying I have imposter syndrome. I won't have a problem with mom. I
Oh.
won't have a problem with
Can I
mom.
finish this?
Mom.
I don't have imposter syndrome, but I think I can't dance.
Oh, okay.
So that's
Yeah.
the very definition there, is that not?
Yeah.
But she's at Lita's Tap Styles on Instagram and TikTok. I never do my own social media because I'm running the website or the socials for this studio and for her.
Nice. Well, that's a lot to run, so I can understand that. Our last question is, what do you do for fun?
What do you do for fun, kiddo? I don't know. Oh, she is just got into resin and making like resin keychains and everything.
Cool.
And because she's making so many, I may have said that the first 2,000 people to donate at least $10 a month to the studio get a keychain, because she is making enough that I need to get them out of the house.
That's awesome. I love it.
You can show a keychain on camera. You cannot throw it at the camera. The camera's expensive. You can show it though if you want to.
Yeah, you can
but
show us.
Yeah, you can show it. I mean, they're all different. And now she's trying to throw it.
Oh no. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot of art stuff around the house, sewing, going out. We're in Colorado, so getting out and hiking and getting out where nobody is, so I don't have to get peopled out.
Yeah, understandable. I love it. Well, thank you so much to both of you for coming on the show today. We really appreciate your time, and people should definitely check out your studio, donate to it so more people can get dance lessons, and you can get into a bigger studio without fluorescent lighting.
Yes, that is a big one. We are
Yeah.
looking for one without fluorescent lighting.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know why people don't understand those are bad.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for having us on, Samantha and Lauren.
Yeah. Hey everyone, Samantha here, and I'm thrilled to invite you to join me for something special, the Parenting Power Hour. This is your chance, parents of neurodivergent kids, to bring your questions directly to me and fellow parents in the room. We're here to help you develop actionable plans that really work so you can finally stop the meltdowns and find peace in your home. As a mom to 3 kids with ADHD and autism, I've seen and been through the challenges too. So trust me, we'll find solutions together that fit your family. Don't miss out on the Parenting Power Hour. It's a free online monthly gathering every second Thursday of the month from 12:45 to 1:45 Mountain Standard Time. Visit everybrainisdifferent.com to reserve your spot today. Hey Lauren, what were the highlights? I just love those two. I've talked to them a few times. I've been on their podcast a couple of times, and we never get to music therapy, which is what we're supposed to talk about. And so I'm going to go back on a third time.
Hopefully
And
get
this
that.
time we're going to talk about music therapy. But anyway, okay.
They seem great. I love what they're doing. I think they bring up a thing of a gap in of between adaptive things and more towards not necessarily like professional, but I don't want to say like legit, but just like more intense. There is a gap. There are people who want more than just it being inclusive and having fun. Like they really want to learn and gain those skills and things like that. And I feel like they're filling that void in a way. And so I think that's really, really great. So I definitely encourage people to go support them. And then I think I really love and appreciate the person-centeredness of it all, like the one-on-one, the dance IEP, like really what is it that they have, because then this can really help us tailor to fit their needs and stuff like that. And so I love that that's how they're doing it. And then just a reminder of the ignorance of some people with some of the struggles that they've had and the interactions. And I can't imagine the frustrations that they've been through with different things and studios and things like that. And so I'm glad that they got frustrated enough that they've created this space. And so I'm super excited for them about it.
Yeah, because Lita, I don't know if they said this, but she started dance when she was 7 years old. And by age 9, she was in dance classes with people that were like older than her. They were all teenagers, and she had such a high skill level that she was in their classes. And so I just think that's amazing. But if she would have been in adaptive classes, you're right, there's a gap between actually learning the skills and just having fun. And so I think it's good that they have adaptive classes just to have fun.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
there's also a need for people who are very serious about the sport, the dance, the whatever, to be able to learn those skills in an adaptive environment still.
Yeah, and they shouldn't be prevented from doing that just because of a label or a diagnosis. And
Yeah.
again, when you can help someone and focus on their strengths and have that one-on-one and have that flexibility and having that adaptability, like sky's the limit for some of these kids and adults. And so yeah, I really love that they're creating that space and that they recognize that need, and it brings light to the need kind of between the two. So I love it.
Yep. I think they are fantastic people, and what they're doing is amazing. And yeah. Well, thank you all for listening this week. If you want that ultimate guide to parenting your neurodivergent child, if you're new to the neurodivergent world and you don't understand what anyone is talking about, or you don't understand what resources are available, or you don't understand what the resources even mean, go to everybrainisdifferent.com and you can get that free resource. And thank you all for listening.